Yeah, I can see your screen.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Charles with the Exodus Logistics Learning Center, America's #1 dispatcher and freight broker training. Today, we have a consultation with Mr. Aguilar, Juan. He has some questions for us. So we on the dispatcher side. So how you doing today, Mr. Aguilar?
I'm good. I'm great. I just got into this field recently, and I've seen the opportunity. So I'm excited to get, dive in and learn as much as I can, and start, the question that I did have was, I came into it in just thinking about dispatching, right? But now I'm thinking more of a trucking company / dispatching. So I kind of had some questions about that and just questions overall. So,
Okay, go ahead.
So I was thinking, I have what I do have is a friend of mine who we're talking about getting into business together, and he's got a CDL. He's got some funds where he's able to contribute, and I was trying to get this part, get everything legitimized, get it all on paper, and kind of see what my best way to go with it is. I really, like I said, I started just looking into dispatching, and then I wanted to get into, the other side, the trucking part, the trucking company. And I had questions about if you can do both, you could dispatch and run it. And, I think that's the question.
Okay, so you want to get an operating authority as a motor carrier, start a trucking company.
Yeah, that's correct.
So what kind of assets, what kind of trucks are you trying to start a trucking company with? Are they the semi trucks?
So semi trucks is the ones that I'm looking into. Like I said, I have a friend. He's already got a CDL, so he can get on the road as soon as everything gets going. But definitely semi trucks. We were talking about dump trucks, me and him, just to keep it kind of local and kind of seeing what was out there for dump truck work. But really focusing on starting a trucking company and getting it going, and focusing on semi trucks.
Okay, so the three major semi trucks that we talk about in our training. And by the way, are you a member of the training? Are you enrolled in our course? Or?
Yes, I am. I am a member of the training.
So the three major ones are the dry vans, the flatbeds, and the reefers. The 53-foot length semi truck. So we got the dry van, the reefers, and the flatbeds. So those are the ones that we talk about. So if you start a trucking company, you could have a trucking company, an operating authority for your trucking company. You could be a carrier, which means you have more than one asset or more than one truck and trailer, and you can dispatch internally for your trucking company and or dispatch for other owner operators. So do you plan on starting a trucking company and dispatching your trucks? And also dispatch other owner operators too?
Well, yeah, I think I'd be able to handle that. I think because I'm definitely not going to drive, so I'll be able to handle all the back office stuff and dispatch for, like I said, for the one guy that I do have that's ready to go. I have another guy who's a friend of mine who's getting out of trucking school, so he's going to be looking into some stuff too. So I do plan on dispatching for other carriers as well.
Okay, so I'm asking that for a reason. So if you have a trucking company and you dispatch internally for your truck, then you can totally do that because it's your trucking company. If you plan to dispatch for other owner operators who are not a part of your trucking company, in other words, they're not under your operating authority, they're not leased under your authority, or they're not company drivers with your trucking company, then I would suggest to create a separate dispatching service for that, a separate business.
Okay.
Right. You see, that way there won't be any kind of conflicts,
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah.
Separate.
So yeah, you would have separate EIN, separate entities for because you can have a dispatching service, a dispatching business, and dispatch trucks for your company as well as independent owner operators. But if you have a trucking company and you dispatch internally for your company specifically, then you're only limited to dispatch for trucks for your company or trucks that are running under the authority of your company. See?
Okay. Yeah, it kind of makes sense because you might have, put them in front of other, for loads or whatever, put them in front
Right.
of
Right.
other people. Yeah.
So that's the advice that I have for you. And then you and your friend, you're gonna buy your own tractor and trailer. And where are you located? Where do you live?
Well, I'm in Sarasota, Florida.
Okay, so you're in the Florida
right in the
area.
middle.
So drive-ins, flatbeds, and or reefers are good in that area. You get loads coming into Florida pretty good. Sometimes the
Really?
market is not good coming out of Florida as far as for loads, but you can get them coming in there pretty good. So, and that's another thing too. If you're going to start a trucking company, depending on where you are, you decide the type of truck you want to get based on the market in your area, and then based on the commodities that you're going to be able to haul for your trucking company. Those are things you want to consider before you make a decision on the type of equipment that you want to get, because you don't want to get an equipment in an area that you're not going to find loads for pretty good. You just started a trucking company and you got an equipment type that there's no movement of commodities, so I just want you to think about that too,
Well, I know there's a Tropicana's right here around the corner, and a couple of local things, but I'd have to look into the market a little bit more. But
so
Tropicana,
Tropicana, you're going to say that's probably going to be either a drive-in or a reefer.
Yeah, reefer. So I was also looking at the equipment type. But getting a reefer truck would you could use it for both then, right?
That's correct. You can use it. So if you can't find reefer type commodities or reefer type loads, you can turn that temperature control unit off and use it as a drive-in, a dry box.
Okay.
Yeah, that's certainly doable. So if you get a reefer unit, you double your chances of finding freight. You got 2 chances of finding it as a reefer unit or as a drive-in.
Okay, cool. And reefer. Okay. Let me see. So okay, I got that out of the way. So I am working towards that right now. I'm actually reading a book that's helping me step by step on what to do. But I did have questions about
as far as step by step on what to do as far as what setting up.
Well, it's a book called Big Rig Business Startup. So I'm just reading on that, and I know it says a couple of different things, but I wanted to see if you have had a step by step. What are the steps that I should be doing? I've looked into LLC. I just started this journey, so I'm and I do nursing on the side, and I sold a little bit of real estate here and there, but it's I'm making a move to switch to this. I know the country needs it right now, and I know it's a anything you buy from a store it comes on a truck, so I know trucks aren't going anywhere. So
right, correct. So so start your business up. So from a dispatching company side, get your business in place, your business license or your LLC and EIN number. And then after you do that, you're an official business. And then you want to, for your business, you want to create your documents that you're going to need when you contract with the carriers, your dispatcher agreement, your limited power of attorney, your carrier profile, things of that nature. Because if you get a carrier, but you don't have nothing to send to them, then, yeah.
Okay, agreement. Yeah, because it's I guess it would be a waste of time if you're not ready for to be able to start working and sending them the paperwork and all that.
That is correct.
Okay, so you create your documents. So getting the LLC makes you an actual business, and getting your EIN number and all that.
Well, the EIN number makes you official business because you have for tax purposes. Well, the LLC too, you have a business license, but then you need an EIN number to identify yourself for tax purposes. That's what the employer identification number does. You are an official business for tax purposes, so you're identified by the IRS based off of this number. So when you file your taxes and enter that number, that's how they do it.
Okay, all right. Let me see some of these questions I have here.
You mentioned you have a carrier already from a dispatcher's perspective?
Well, I don't have the actual equipment yet, but I do have like I said, happened to meet a friend of mine, and he has a CDL. So we're able to use that, and he's got connects up in Philly with driving schools and things like that. So it's kind of seems to be coming together. I don't have any equipment yet, but I had questions about that too, about financing, getting a truck. Where should you start looking, and what should you be looking for?
It depends on how you want to get the truck. If well, you're financing it through, if you're going to go through the bank or some kind of leasing company, I would go to truckpaper.com or go to Ritchie Brothers Auction. Let's see, truckpaper.com can give you information about trucks and trailers. Penske, you probably can get some used trucks from Penske. They have a good inventory of used trucks. Truckpaper.com is a good site to go to, and I'll put that in the chat here too. But yeah, so you can look for in any case, wherever you look for your truck, you want to have certain criteria that you want to have. So many. How old is it? What year is it? How many miles is it on? What kind of motor does it have? What kind of transmission does it have? Things like that. And the brand name, like Kenworth, Peterbilt, Freightliners. So those are some of the things you might want to also too when you're looking for a truck for your trucking company. Have your friend may know it, or you may know a diesel mechanic.
Yeah, actually he does. He knows a guy up north that we could probably invite down here. Just have him, have him come down and just when we go to do the business, he can look at the truck and make sure we're getting a good deal.
Correct. So yeah, that and then you can go to auctions like Ritchie Brothers. Let's see, RB Auction.
Ritchie Brothers.
Yeah, Ritchie Brothers. That's the auction site.
RB Auctions. RB.
Yeah, called RB Auctions, but the RB stands for Ritchie Brothers. So they got trucks, they got cranes, they got transport. So you want to look under transport trucks. They auction a lot of things. Your category would be like in this case, like a 2016 tractor right here. So you would go in there and then you would, sign up for an account there to put a bid in on whatever truck you got search criteria for it and things like that. So you decide what you want.
So you have to go somewhere to get financed first to see what you're financed for, or how does that work when it comes to
so if you go to the auction and I would have financing lined up with either some kind of bank or some kind of credit union in order to get to see where you stand as far as the line of credit that you can use to leverage to pay for the truck. Yes.
Yeah. So, and that's when the business credit comes in, I'm guessing.
It can, but when you just started a business, you don't have much business credit, so they have to base it on some type of credit. So they're gonna lean on your personal credit at this point.
Well, yeah, I have decent credit now, and who knows if my brother can help out with because he's a finance guy at a dealership, and he deals with a lot of the auctions. For his dealership, they get anything from Toyotas to Bentleys. So. I asked him about this before a while ago, and he said, yeah, he's probably be able to get in there somewhere and help me out. So I'm
well, there you go. So he can probably point you in the right direction for that.
Cool. All right, perfect. At least I know the website now, RB Auctions. Let me see what else.
Or you can go to Penske, Penske.com. They try to get rid of a lot of their tractors that they, no longer need. And they're still in good condition because, Penske's, Riders, or Enterprises, they pretty much keep their trucks regularly maintenance because they rent them out a lot of times. So they have to have an upkeep on them. So when they go to sell them, after so many miles, they sell them. Like if it gets 500 miles or more, then they go to sell them. But 500 miles on a truck is not that much. You still can get some good life out of it. So.
Okay. What is the average truck? What's the miles on the average truck? How can it go into millions, or is it just?
They can. Once you get over the millions, turn over. You might want to have another motor put in it.
Okay, I got you.
Start that process over. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So we talked about the financing. Oh yeah. So when I get into, I know the dispatch side, I'll have your resources with your back office and the load board, I think. But on the other side, is there any type of subscriptions that should be to any other load boards that you're not part of as the owner of the company and a dispatch?
Yeah, I would. If you're gonna own a company like that, then I would get your own personal subscription outside of using the ones on the platform. That way, you have it exclusive to you, and you don't have to worry about no one else logging into it. Like DAT, 1, 2, 3, or Truck Stop. Those are the top 3 that you can lean on, and you can use them as business expenses, because if you're going to be operating as a business, you can purchase the subscriptions to those load boards and then write off that as an expense to your company and lower your taxable income at the end of the year.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, and then what about the software? Is there any software, maybe like QuickBooks or any other type of software that I should be investing in to get things going?
You just put the nail right on the head. Any type of accounting, like accounts payable, accounts receivable, bookkeeping type of software. QuickBooks Online is probably a good one. Or you may get the desktop version where you can install it on your machines. But yeah, any type of accounting or invoicing software to help keep your company running smoothly and organized and keep everything centralized is always a good idea. And like you said, QuickBooks is a good starting example.
Okay.
You got one called NetSuite, I think by Oracle. And then there's another one. So you got called Xero. Xero is spelled, but it's called Xero. Those are accounting and bookkeeping types of software.
Okay. All right. Is there any other type of software that I should be looking into besides the accounting part? Anything else I should be looking to purchase to help my business run?
You can. There's a free software. There's a free dispatching software that I'm going to introduce to the platform. I had a Zoom meeting earlier today with the company Coda software.
Okay.
Let me show you that one. This is dispatch software. So
okay.
Pull it up now, but it's free. The functionality of it is free. Dispatch software, you can go in there. Sleek and effortless dispatch management. It's a dispatch management platform. So you can do quick pays, easy to use, customer support. You can sign up for it, register for it. It integrates with these platforms, factoring companies, 123 Load Board. Thunder Funding is a type of factoring company. These are the factoring companies.
I was gonna ask about factoring companies also.
As a carrier, if you're going to be a trucking company, it would be advisable, especially a new one, to maybe look into a factory company. We have one on our platform that we recommend. It's called 7 Oaks. But factoring companies help cash flow, especially starting off as new trucking companies. You don't have the money because you haven't booked the load yet to help cover the expenses, like particularly the number one line item expense is fuel and insurance. So factory companies give you advances and then charge you a percentage for doing that, right? To keep you afloat until you get to a point where you're booking enough loads with brokers that you're generating enough revenue where you may not need them no more. But starting off, they're very helpful because they give you almost like a payday loan. If you go to a payday, remember you used to put your paycheck against a payday loan when you go to, well, I don't know if you never did it before, but
yeah, Amscot type deals. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So let me see. So what was that name of that the one you have on your platform?
7 Oaks right here on the
7
our site, 7 Oaks.
Oh, I see it. 7 Oaks.
So on our main menu under Dispatcher 101, the majority of our resources are here, and in our bonus affiliates and partners, referrals, 7 Oaks, Monica Cases, the contact person, her email, contact information, the link directly to the website for the affiliate link. So you just click that, and it goes to her site. And
all right,
we're partnered with them. So.
And as obviously getting a website going is part of all this. What do you have any referencing for that? Where I should go to, where I should check out?
I use Wix. I have a Wix development team. If you scroll to the bottom, I need to put them on here as a link too, but if you scroll to the very bottom of any of my pages, we have a Let's Design Your Site. And they're connected with me. They're partnered with me, my Wix development team. So let me copy that link and put it in the chat for you. But I'm sure you're grabbing this stuff out the chat, right? So.
Well, actually, what I'm doing is I'm just writing stuff down. I'm trying to. How do I see the chats? Let me see.
So in the chat, when you go up there and talk and mute yourself and turn your camera on in the Zoom dashboard, there's a bunch of controls up there. One of them should say chat.
Yeah, I see it. Okay. I got it.
So you click that to open it. Yeah, you click it to open up, you'll see what I've been typing in the chat, all those links and stuff.
All right.
Yep. So Let's Design Your Site is my Wix development team. They can they'll give you, if you get started, they'll give you a free 20-minute consultation. You just got to schedule it on the calendar. And the purpose of that is for them to get an idea of what you're trying to do in that 20 minutes to decide if they can actually provide that service. And then after that, you can schedule, and then whatever the service costs, you guys have to decide from that point. But at least you get a free 20-minute consult so they can see what your vision is for your website and whether they can help you.
Yeah, that sounds good. And that's your company, or that's affiliate?
This is the Wix development partner that I'm partnered with.
Oh, okay.
I have my website is hosted by Wix.
I got you.
I have my domain. Right. My domain is purchased through Wix. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into all that, the website, and making sure nobody else can use it. Let's see. So, okay, so financing a truck, I just have to go to my bank, or I have relationships with a couple credit unions, Grow Financial and Suncoast Financial. Who else? And that's it at the moment. But I'd have to be going to them. What are the? Would you touch on what are the perks of owning versus leasing?
Owning means that you don't have an expense of covering the trucking costs, truck or trailer rent, monthly payments, right? You're not making payments on the leasing of it. If you own it, you own it outright. You don't have to pay any expenses. You don't have to pay the cost of leasing the truck or the trailer per month. So that's the main benefit. Yeah.
But that's after you pay it off. Even that's if you buy a truck and all paid off 100%. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So you said the difference between owning and leasing. So if you own it, that means it's paid off.
Right? Well, I guess I meant the financing part. Like if I was to finance a truck.
Okay, so if you financing and leasing is almost kind of similar.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to know what you thought. What the differences were. Not too much on the differences, but what are the pros and cons for because I know you have to pay both, and you might have to pay a little more for, I don't know, maybe warranty or something with the leasing. I didn't know what the difference is.
Well, both of them can offer warranties. It depends on who you're getting your financing or leasing plans through.
Okay.
Right? And they may include a regular warranty or what's called an extended warranty. Depends if the warranty depends on the year of the truck, and if the warranty's already expired, they may try to sell you an extended warranty. So there's several variables that goes into play to consider. Once you get the year of the truck and everything, and then you talk to the financing people, and they'll present to you what the options are based off of the year of the truck and things like that, whether you can get a warranty, how your leasing terms are, what your annual percentage rate is on that loan or that lease or that financing. So there's several factors that we can't even touch upon because we don't even.
Oh yeah, so there's a lot to go into that. So you can find deals on both ends that are probably more or less depending on the things you pick when you're dealing with them. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. There's so many, but you gotta know all the variables before you can even decide what the decision is. So.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. So, can you touch on that? The financing, would I be able to get a truck as I guess I would be a business. Would I be able to get one? I don't have a CDL, but like I said, I have my friend who
you can get a truck without a CDL. Your insurance may be a little higher. Insurance companies have a tendency to give a cheaper rate to those potential owners of the truck who have CDLs because they are assuming that you're going to be the one driving it. If you come in there with a non-CDL, they think you're going to just have the owning the company, and you're going to hire drivers, So they have a tendency to raise the rates on the premiums.
Yeah. And then what if I did have somebody with CDL? It still wouldn't matter?
Well, if that person is, and I can't honestly answer that, of course, I don't represent the insurance company, but I would assume if that person is partnered with you and they're the majority partner, they'll use their name to get the policy for the insurance. So the rate will be cheaper because they have the CDL and you don't. Okay. I would not put the onus on that person with the CDL. As far as what I mean by onus, I'm saying putting the company in their name just to save on insurance because they have a CDL. I would not do that.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Let me see. So I guess you can't even touch on that. But I was gonna ask about the if you can, the major differences in when you lease from somebody, you can't, is it a mileage thing or is it all negotiable?
Everything in this world is negotiable. But yeah, it depends on with the transportation industry. Mileage does kind of play a factor in when you're leasing from a particular company. You could be leasing from Enterprise, Penske, or Ryder, or renting from them. So renting or leasing. So are you leasing? Are you leasing to purchase it, or are you just leasing it for a term? So there's lease purchase options, LPOs, things like that. So you have to ask yourself, there's 3 ways to get in there. You can either outright purchase it, you can rent a truck, or you can lease it. So then you have to ask yourself, well, what are your expenses? Because expenses will play a huge determining factor when you decide which way to go, whether you outright purchase it, whether you lease it, or whether you rent it. You know, what are your expenses in all 3 of those cases? You know, and your major line item expenses with the trucks are, of course, fuel and insurance. So with this concept, you have what's called fixed costs and variable costs when it comes to expenses. You know, fuel it's kind of a fixed cost, but it varies, right? Because fuel prices change. So it's kind of a variable cost, but it's fixed in the sense that you're going to always have fuel. That's a fixed thing. But it varies in the sense because the prices change. That's why it's varied. So it's kind of a mixture of both. Fixed cost is insurance, right? That's always, your insurance premium is always going to be the same per month, depending on how you structured it with the insurance company. So you have to be able to define that as a trucking company. You have to understand what your numbers are. You know, and then when you're booking loads and you know what your break-even point is because of your expenses, then if you're dispatching, then you know what you need to get from these brokers as a cents per mile in order to make a profit. So let's say you book a load for a dry van, your break-even point for a dry van is any load that gets you at least $2 a mile. So you say, well, I need to find loads that give me $2.25, $2.50 a mile because everything after $2 is profit, right? Because that's your break-even number. That's how you look at it. That's how carriers and truck drivers look at it. Some of them don't. They don't know their own numbers. When they do taxes, they're losing money. They're in the red. So, but starting off as a new trucking company, you want to get your foundation and your footing thoroughly understood before you jump into something that's going to potentially destroy you if you don't really understand it.
Okay, on the financial part, should I be looking into getting a CPA or a tax guy, or?
I would definitely look into that. Yes, because they will tell you how to properly structure it and some of the tax shelters that you can take advantage of as a trucking company, and tax breaks and depreciation and expenses. And definitely look into, I have a CPA also, my CPA, my personal CPA. I have his information on the site as well that you could probably lean on and maybe even utilize his services.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. That would be great. You said it's on there?
Yeah, under ELLC services, affiliates and partners, accounting and bookkeeping down here to Eric Atkins. Right there, I can copy his information and put it in the chat. And just let him know that Charles from Exodus, you got the number from Charles from Exodus, and then, you know, ask your questions. And if you decide to use his services based off of the responses, then it's a win-win.
Atkins, okay. Yeah, that is a win-win. So say I have, so once everything is going and everything, you know, I'm on the road or whatever, I have my friend who has a CDL. How would I go about? So I just go get the truck and then get him in it and start right away, just like that?
If that's what you guys decide to do, if he's ready to drive, but you have to get an operating authority. You just can't just get a truck and jump in it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The DOT, right? Is that what it is? Or the
DOT, if you're just going to stay within your state, but an MC, if you're going to be interstate, you're going to cross state lines and go over the road.
MC, if it's in, okay.
So, and you get a truck because you can't get insurance until you have a truck, because the insurance company needs the VIN number to put on the policy. And then you can't have an active operating authority until you have insurance. So you see how that See how the progression step by step by step.
Yeah.
So your operating authority. So one of the things that causes your operating authority to become active is having insurance. Well, you can't have insurance until you have a VIN number. So the insurance company has a VIN number to put on the policy. Well, you can't have a VIN number until you purchase a truck. So
the first step would be to purchase the truck.
correct. And then there's smaller steps in that progression too. You gotta know what truck, how many miles, make sure you got a diesel mechanic with you. Check everything out, make sure it's running pretty good, check out the engine, transmission, make sure it's the right model, a popular model that everybody says is good, the mileage, so a good diesel mechanic, if you or your partner knows one, that would be helpful. A local diesel mechanic, someone you probably give them couple $100 to go with you when you go look for trucks, or if they recommend some. So yeah.
And at these auctions, are you able to look at the trucks before it's the hand, or how does that work?
Of course, they'll let you look at it, start it up, and drive it around their lot to get a feel for it.
Oh,
yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Where is this? And now you're talking about the R&B?
Yeah, Ritchie
R&B
Brothers.
auctions, right?
Ritchie Brothers have auctions in major cities all over the country. You would just have to do a search for it in your area.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right, perfect. Okay.
I think there's one in Orlando.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
Orlando. All right. So are you saying, so when it comes to getting your authority, your MC or your DOT, or possibly both, do you get those first, or do you get them after the purchase of the truck?
Well, you apply for the operating authority. You can do it at the same time. While you're looking at trucks, you can apply for your operating authority with the FMCSA, the Federal Motor Carriers Safety Administration.
Okay, so I could do that at the same time, but that's after everything's set up, my business is set up, and I'm ready to roll, ready to purchase a truck.
Correct.
That's after. Okay, good. Apply for operating authority. Okay, let me see what else. Now, do you I see yours is ELLC. Do you have when I get with your team with the website, can I go over with them on the naming, or does it I mean, I'm trying to think if it matters the name, if it's, because I've seen different, I've rode next to semis and dump trucks, and I just see any kind of whatever LLC or trucking company. So I was wondering if you had any insight about that, about the naming part of it, or if it doesn't really matter.
Well, it matters to you. You want to name your company something that you feel that it should, because a name identifies your company, identifies the philosophy of it, how you're going to do business, what you're all about. So you want to come up with a name that reflects that. So when someone reads it, they know about who you are. They know what you do. They know about the philosophy of your company.
Okay. Yeah. And then another question I had was, I did, now I know about the separating. If I'm going to be doing with different, dispatching for a different company, I can set that up. I can set that up at the same time and make money dispatching for my truck. And then, I guess dispatching for another. Would you recommend that, or would you recommend to focus on your business and get more trucks and start a fleet? And do you recommend me splitting my time between the one company and the one truck, and then having another LLC for the dispatching, or what do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
If you're going to, like I said earlier when we first started, if you're going to be dispatching for not only your trucks and your trucking side, your trucking company, but other owner operators with their own trucking companies, then I would create a separate dispatching company.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna do that. But in terms of working, do you think? Well, I don't know. I guess that's a loaded question. But I was just thinking that if I could do both, if I had a different LLC doing dispatching for whoever, and then I was running my trucking business with the one truck that I had on the road, should I worry more about growing the trucking company, or is it doable to do? Is it feasible to do both and not have?
Well, I would grow the trucking company because that's where a lot of your expenses are going to come from. So you need most of your revenue in there as well. So,
and do you recommend like the profits coming in? Is that because I'm thinking, you know, as soon as I become profitable, to start saving that and start looking for another truck, you know, because I'm thinking about growth as well.
Yeah, so you want to let income, you want to leverage the income and the revenue you receive from the first truck, finance the second one.
So I can get on that right away as soon as I start seeing a profit, and you know, I'm able to line it up with the banks and stuff. You can do that as soon as possible, right?
You can. So I would do that after. So you do that from all of what's called your retained earnings. Retained earnings is what's called after tax money. So after you pay your taxes, whatever's left over, you can use that for whatever, because you've already met your tax obligations. You paid your taxes. So whatever's left over is called retained earnings. So you can use that to either put back in the business or do whatever you want with it. It's yours now.
Yeah.
But if I were you, I would take the retained earnings and invest it into financing another truck. So now you have two trucks making revenue, and you're doubling your retained earnings after taxes. So now you can use that retained earnings to finance a third truck. And this may take every tax year. You may add a truck to your company every tax year every year.
And do you find that it's right now, I guess, in these times, do you find that it's easy or hard to find good drivers?
It's hard to find. It's easy to find drivers. It's hard to find good drivers.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, wow. So what do you look for? I guess just the overall personality when you talk to somebody, but I mean, even those types can trick you somehow. So what are some pointers? Do you have any
well, you want to set up some qualifying questions when you vet the drivers, when you interview them prior to hiring them, right? You know, you want to check for their driving record, any felonies, how much experience they have, you know, the basics of how many points they have, if they have any points, if they drove for someone else, get a report from that company, how that driver was and whatnot. You know, because you need to qualify them, because you got to put them on your insurance.
Okay. Oh, okay. I got you.
So for insurance purposes, insurance companies require 2 to 3 years driving experience, no DUIs or DWIs or felonies within, let's say, 10 years, no moving violations within 3 years. And then insurance, you know, pre and post trip inspection reports, you know, from previous driving things.
So you'd be able to, I guess you can get who they drove for before and then contact them and then just get a report.
If they drove for somebody. And then also you got to also qualify drivers. You got to clean driving record, do a driving test with them, jump in the truck with them and see if they actually can drive. Just don't take their word. And then a drug and alcohol test, you know, things like that. So those are some of the qualifiers you want to do before you put a driver in the truck, you know.
Okay. Drug and alcohol test. Let's see. Okay, so let's start over here. Okay, so we went over that. So basically, for the trucking itself, because I'm not really worried about the dispatching anymore. I mean, I'm going to use your services to teach me that part of it. But I
thought most of your questions were more going to be on dispatching or freight broker. I don't even have a trucking training, but I'm answering.
Yeah, I understand that. But I'm glad I was able to get some gems out of you, because that's, you kind of clearing my head and my road on what direction I'm going in. I'm definitely going to be able to tap in on the dispatching part. I've been watching some of the videos and stuff and some of the training, and trying to, when I'm not working, I'll try to sit down and participate. But most of the time I've been working lately. But I'm just glad I was able to talk to you about this stuff, because it's, it's important. It's something that's just about to happen. So let me see. So on the dispatching side, you have the classes are every Are you on? You're not on all of them because I tapped in on one and you weren't. I think it was a ladies group and we're talking about some.
Yeah, Sunday we had a couple of weeks on the Sunday. We had the cold call specialist. They show people how to do effective cold calling. Those were last Sunday and the Sunday before then too. So
Okay. Oh, I just thought of something too. So since I'm switching it up from the dispatching to the trucking and the, dispatching on my own, focused on growing that company. I was wondering why I didn't see a trucking and legit. I would either see trucking on the LLC name, on the truck's name, or I would see logistics. It's rare that I would see a company that has a truck it's a trucking company that's logistics and trucking. So I'm kind of understanding what you're saying with being clear with your message and not mixing the two, dispatching for other people and dispatching for your own trucking company and having that trucking company out. So it's kind of making sense.
yeah.
So do you know anything about trucks? I know you know about the semis. Do you know about dump trucks and those types of
No, I don't.
I can work with dump trucks.
Yeah, I'm my lane is the semis. That's my lane.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't tap into. Okay, that's fine. I parse that out. So is there anything that you could tell me that I should be besides what we've talked about? Like I said, I'm new to this field. I've done nursing and real estate and stuff, so I'm not really on this. But is there anything that I need to focus on or get started right away, or anything that you can recommend for me to do to go ahead and get things rolling?
Take your
Or anything
time.
I should be looking out for or worried about?
Take your time. Seek the advice of the experts in the particular areas that you're looking to start your trucking company in. Like, for example, a CPA or a diesel mechanic. When you're looking to get advice in those particular arenas. But take your time. Get as much information as you can before you make an informed decision. You want to have as much information in front of you so that you can make that informed decision, like purchasing a truck, the financing. You have a connection with your financing side, the type of truck you want to get. Make sure your diesel mechanic is someone that knows their stuff. So just take your time. You're going in the right direction. Just take your time when you're doing it. All right.
Okay. All right. And I'm gonna keep tapping into these dispatching classes. Now, I wanted to ask you about the freight broker side. What is the difference in that? Is that the broker that gets you the carriers the freight?
That's correct. That's what a freight broker does. Yep. They are the logistics provider. They are the ones who arrange for the transportation of freight. They do so by procuring or getting the freight from the shippers and then brokering them to the carriers or the truck drivers. And then they make their percentage for doing that. But yeah, so when you're booking loads for your carriers as a dispatcher, in most cases, you are booking those loads with brokers. So that's what brokers do.
All right. Okay. Okay. So the name I got logistics. I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought I'd have more questions. I think we went through a lot of this stuff right away, like quick.
Well, that's fine.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep reading this book, and I'm glad I was able to talk to you. Like you said, it kind of cleared my mind because I was a little bit confused on what direction to go to, if I should do both, if I should be focused on one. But I think it's become a little more clear that I want to rather than having both, I'd rather have the trucking company going and put all my efforts into that, and not waste time, but not have my time split into two different areas. Let me see. So we went over the financing, we went over where to get a truck, and you have a mechanic. Yeah, I think I have my things pretty lined up, so I just needed those questions answered. And I might think of more when I'm off this call, but I think those are the most important ones. Is there anything you see that you think that I'm missing that I should know?
Well,
that you could think of?
Well, since you've decided to put more of your focus on the trucking side, then I will put all my energy there until you get it up and running to a point where you're satisfied and it's almost like it's automated, right? So But yeah.
Okay. And speaking, so when you say structure, when it comes to speaking to your CPA, what does he structure? Does he structure all your books? Does he tell you how it's supposed to run, or what is his?
So
what
he
is his
does.
part of it?
He has several services that he offers. He can do strictly taxes for you. He can do taxes and bookkeeping. So when you call him, you just let him know what type of services are you looking for. You can go to his website and also check it out. But he offers those types of services.
Okay, yeah, I see it there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I see it. All right, perfect. So I guess I could just go over the things that I've learned and just tell you, just to make sure. So where I'm at now, I think the start would be the LLC, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the LLC, and then obviously I would get the EIN number and a bank, business bank account. After that, I would apply for my MC and my DOT.
Right, or what's called an operating authority. Because once you apply for the
Okay.
operating authority and pay for that online with the FMCSA, you will be issued an MC and DOT number. It won't be active yet until you get everything else that's required, like insurance and the BOC3 and all the other requirements, UCR and all those things. But and they'll tell you. So
Okay. And then after that, then comes the purchasing of the actual truck itself. If I already have a driver, and I guess I would focus on the truck itself after that.
I will be looking to purchase the truck while you are applying for your operating authority.
Oh, okay. So maybe finding out what the requirements are would be a good idea. Let me see.
That's correct.
Do you find, well, I don't know if you financing trucks now, but do you find a credit union or somebody that works? Because I know Ally, I think Ally was the only one that I seen work with commercial vehicles.
So credit unions have a tendency to work better than banks when it comes to financing for commercial vehicles.
Okay.
So like a Navy Federal Credit Union or a Chartway Credit Union or whatever type of credit union in your area. I'm sure you may have Navy Federal down there.
Yeah, I think there's Navy down here, but like I said, I have a relationship with two of them, so and my credit's pretty decent. So all right. So after the actual purchasing of the truck, what's the steps after that? Is it just get on the road? If after finding out it's good to go, it's a good truck and I have a good driver, do I just start booking them loads through the load boards and just start going that way?
Yeah, you got to make sure that your authority is active.
Okay, so make sure authority is active.
Yeah, you can't move that truck. You can't move that truck until you have an active authority. Once your active authority means you have all the requirements that's needed for the active authority, insurance and everything else.
And do you find yourself doing a lot of that stuff during the purchase of the kind of like when you buy a car and you put insurance on it right there at the dealership if you don't have any? Do you find yourself doing that, or is it something that you should have all planned out?
I would not trust a commercial trucking dealership to provide my insurance for me. I would shop around for better rates. Because they'll just give you their partner insurance company and they may be getting a kickback for doing so.
Yeah, you're right. The partners. Check insurance rates. So after the truck, the MC, the authority is active, then it's just me booking loads. I had a question about finding lanes too. When you talk about that, is that when you find like consistent work through like Walmart or Amazon or?
Yeah, or whoever. Yeah, dedicated freight, dedicated lanes is going in the same.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, dedicated lanes. All right, and I guess just networking and working, you'll eventually find those. Or is there a place in the in the load boards that you find dedicated
Well,
lanes?
you get the opportunity to run dedicated lanes by running consistently with the same brokers and delivering on time and there's no claims on your deliveries with your drivers. So a broker will eventually open up to you and offer you dedicated lanes because you have proven yourself over time.
Okay, so it's like kind of like an interview. If you're a good driver, then why wouldn't they offer that, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so I guess I would use a load board and just start getting my truck working. You said Florida, the outbound aren't good, but the incoming stuff coming in would be good. And what do you mean
Correct.
by that? Is there like a hub or where they go, or where the
Just
trucks go?
overall, commodity freight coming into Florida pays better than freight leaving Florida.
Oh, hold on, let me write that down. Into Florida plays better. Florida. And what's the reason? Is there not much work here? Is there not much going on in Florida, or
It's been like that for years though. And that's probably one, because it's like it's a law of supply and demand, inbound, outbound frequency. There's more, because people in Florida still need goods. So bringing goods into Florida pays well, but maybe there's not a lot of manufacturers in Florida to produce enough demand for good paying freight coming out of Florida.
And are you talking about like freight that comes off like internationally, off like in Miami and stuff, like off the ships?
I'm just saying freight in general, whether it comes internationally,
okay.
intermodal or general freight over the road.
Okay, I got you. But the after getting the truck and all that, I see you could find power only work, and then the work with the trailer on it. You did say that the reefer would be better to if you could use it dry, or you could turn it off, or you could use it for both. Now, is there a size difference? And because it's a reefer unit, will I ever have to worry about something not fitting in there that would fit in a regular dry van?
So if you have a 53-foot reefer trailer, then you're perfectly fine whether you turn the reefer unit off or not.
Okay, and anything that could fit in one will be able to fit in the other, no problem.
Definitely.
All right, perfect. So that would be something to look into. Would you recommend having a power unit to start off, or to have a actual trailer with it?
It depends on your budget. If your budget dictates you the affordability of a trailer, then I would say invest in a trailer.
Okay. If budget. Okay, good. Let's see. And then the reefer would be good for like fruit and dairy and things like that, and then the dry would be good for anything else, I'm guessing.
Correct.
Do you find a lot of flatbed work? Is that something?
Not necessarily
about the market.
Not necessarily in Florida. I would say more drive-in, and there is flatbed work in Florida, but not as much as reefer and drive-in.
Okay. If I had a friend who wanted to invest in, maybe buying a truck and having it run under the authority that I create, that's possible also, right? I mean, he would.
Yeah, you would have to put that truck's VIN number under your insurance in order to qualify to run it under your authority.
Okay, I got
it. And then of course you would charge them a certain percentage to run under your authority based off of what they make, what they gross per week. So let's say you charge 20%, they gross $10,000 a week. Then you're getting 20%, $2,000 a week for just having them run under your authority.
Oh, okay. All right. So that would be good for drivers that just like to drive. They don't want any other part of the business.
Right. The only problem with that is if you run someone under your authority and they do something while they're under your authority that caused them to be put out of service or any type of red flags with DOT and FMCSA, that can put your operating authority out of service. So you got to be careful when you are vetting drivers to consider running under your authority, because that's the risk that you take.
And then that's what you mean by finding it. They're easy to find, but good ones are hard to find.
That's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
Okay. So vetting, that's a big important part of it then. Well, the one I have now, he's good. You know, he's solid guy. So, you know, and we've been talking a lot about this stuff. So I just wanted to jump on and make sure I got all my ducks in a row. Seems like so we talked about the finance part, the financing the trucks. We talked about the accounting part where and the websites. And I am going to tap in on your when you were talking about marketing and email blasts and all that stuff. So I don't know. I guess it's switching from dispatcher, so it's a little bit different. But I'm still going to be learning the dispatching side through you. Do you have, other than this book and what we've talked about, do you know of any other places that I can go and look for the actual trucking side of anything else that I needed to know?
Truckpaper.com, the ones I put up on the chat.
Oh yeah. The truck paper, and that's okay. And I'm talking about for like to learn. It's an educational website.
Yeah,
or is that
there is an educate. There's one called Transport Topics. There's one called Freight Waves.
Okay.
I'll put this in here. Transporttopics.com, that deals with the transportation industry.
Okay, Transport Topics.
So I'll copy that and put it in the chat, because you see the chat, right?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
I see it.
So there's the
Now,
link.
is this video going to be? Am I going to be able to tap into this video, or do you choose later on?
No,
do you save it all, or?
I record it for marketing purposes, but I also send a copy to the person that I'm actually talking to. So yes.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so I can go over all
What
this.
What is your so you are enrolled in the ongoing training?
Yeah, I'm enrolled in the ongoing training. I think the monthly subscription.
You enrolled you enrolled in 2021 or 2022?
I don't know. Honestly. I know I'm paying. I just don't know which one it is.
Okay. If you can type in the chat or just tell me, I'll write it down. What is your email?
It is J Aguilar _941. I'm writing it at yahoo.com. Let's see. That's it there.
Got it. All right. So once this recording is done, which we got about 6 minutes.
Sure.
I'll and once I convert the video to the format that I can send it to you in, which is the YouTube format, I can go ahead and send it to you. Okay.
Okay, that sounds perfect. All right. Well, yeah, I think I got everything on here. You said take my time, CPA, MC authority, have the mechanic with you when you're going for the truck, and then just take your time. Is there any truck that you've seen? Because I've been looking on YouTube and looking for different types of trucks, and they talk about the engine the most, the motor. And I keep hearing Cummins, the Cummins.
Yeah,
the Cummins
engine is a good engine. And Allison transmission is a good transmission.
Cummins engine.
Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right, so I'm back.
All right. What was the name of the transmission?
Allison, Allison. So let me put that in the chat.
And I've seen some are 455 horsepower and some are 5. Is there an issue with towing, max capacity things, or should it be 500? Should it be 455? Like, I'm just trying
Anything
to
more
make
than
sure that
455, anything more than 455 is good. The towing is not going to be an issue. If you got a commercial towing company, it doesn't matter.
So either one.
Either one, at least.
Okay, yeah, because they said the Cummins engine, a lot of mechanics can work on it. They have the parts. The parts are easier to find. Is that true?
That is correct.
Okay.
So
cool.
who is the they that you're referring to?
Well, I'm just on a different. I'm picking up different things from YouTube, just kind of listening here and there. I'm not really not so much a person. Just I'm just listening, watching different videos, how to buy your first truck, this and that. So I'm kind of picking up little things, and I thought it'd be a good to ask you about it. Okay. And then these engines would be in anything, right? They would be in Peterbilt or
yeah, Kenworth, Peterbilt, Freightliners. Those are the ones that are recommended.
Freightliners are recommended. Okay. All right. All right, man. Well, I think we could probably wrap it up. I got a lot of good info. Got a lot of good gems for you. I'm gonna get started on the LLC, get the business going, and take off from there. I really appreciate your time.
All right, no problem.
Yeah. And if I ever need this again, you seem like you have your own stuff going on and going good. So maybe I'd schedule another one in the future for anything. But I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'll just wait for that video so I can rewatch this and kind of tap in on whatever I missed out on in the email, correct?
Yes.
All right. All right, Charles. Thank you very much.
All right, you too, Juan. All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. This has been Charles with the Exodus Logistics Learning Center, which America's #1 dispatcher and freight broker training. I just got finished with an hour Zoom consultation with Mr. Juan Aguilar. His questions were mainly on the trucking side. I thought they were going to be dispatcher and or freight broker, but that's fine. We answered the questions. So if you or anyone you know is interested, and of course the descriptions will be in this YouTube video at the bottom, interested in either dispatcher 101 training for beginners or freight broker 101 training for beginners, you can reach us in our email at info@exodusdispatchingandtraining.com or our email at exoduslogisticsllc@yahoo.com, or you can call us at 757-695-9565 or 757-515-1684. Signing off now is Charles again with the Exodus Logistics Learning Center. It's been another video Zoom consultation. Until next time, you guys take it easy.